Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, happy Friday. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning for the news on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. We begin with this. Crews with the Savannah Fire Department responded to an overnight house fire on the 800 block of Carter Street. These are pictures from the scene just around 10 last night. Firefighters saw smoke and flames when they first arrived. They were able to put out the flames in just under 15 minutes. Fortunately, no injuries or displacements were reported. Turning now to the Crime Watch, a string of burglaries has left South Carolina residents shaken. There have been at least 9 burglaries in 3 days in Beaufort County, and the sheriff's office are now looking for multiple suspects. The burglaries took place between January 31st and February 2nd. Homes were broken into overnight on Ladies Island and St. Helena Island. Several residents were hit within blocks of each other. Suspects stole liquor, guns, power tools, and other valuables. Now, our crew spoke with a man whose home was broken into. He says suspects broke in through the back door before ransacking the place. While the burglaries didn't take any valuables, they did take several bottles of alcohol and left quite a mess. Some of the homes broken into are part-time residences, and neighbors believe they're being targeted.
They'll see that the houses are, sometimes vacant. And then they'll come back, seeing that the people aren't here at the time.
The sheriff's office is now turning to the community for help. They released security footage showing the suspects in question in hopes someone may recognize them. Investigators are also asking residents to look back at any security footage that you may have of the area. We have an update on this. The U.S. Coast Guard has released a report after a crane struck the Talmadge Bridge back in August. The Coast Guard says the crane hit the bridge after the tugboat's captain was given incorrect information about the height of the crane. Now, you're looking at video of that incident right now. The crane operator told the captain the crane's boom was 160 feet long, but it was actually 180 feet long. That caused the crane's boom to hit the bridge and collapse. Fortunately, nobody was injured during this incident, and again, this was several months ago. The report says the accident caused about $450,000 of damage to that bridge. We have continuing coverage today. The Chatham County Board of Commissioners is meeting to discuss pending litigations against Chatham Area Transit, or CAT. It's a topic that's caused some back and forth much of the past year. The county has threatened to pull funding from CAT due to a change in Georgia law that decreased the county commission's control over the CAT board. We spoke with CAT chairman and Savannah Alderman Dietrich Leggett at the Capitol in Atlanta. He says he's optimistic that an agreement can be reached.
Well, we're going to always be one Chatham. Sometimes there's a difficult of opinion, and we don't know how to get to a resolution to it, but we're working on it now, and now that everyone's here, we have everybody at the table, everybody's in the same room.
Meanwhile, CAT announced it would also hold a special meeting on Monday at noon. The CAT board says it will go into executive session to discuss personal matters related to an agency executive head. Turning now to state news. This morning, a bill that would require weapons detection systems in all Georgia public schools is one step closer to becoming law. Mary Kate Hamilton with our sister station has more on the ongoing discussion.
Some say it would play a vital role in helping to keep students safe at school, while others worry about the logistics of actually implementing this bill if it becomes law. However, there is a long way to go. This bill will still have to pass in both the House and the Senate. Advocates say it's a reasonable, common-sense safeguard to have in place for students. Others worry it may place increased liability on the schools should tragedy strike. But some schools have already elected to put these systems in place on their own. In fact, Gwinnett County schools will have weapons detection systems installed in every middle school and high school by March. Since the deadly attack at Appalachia High School that took the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers in 2024, school safety in the state of Georgia has been top of mind for many. 2 Appalachia alumni were among those sitting in support of the bill.
Anything we can do to deter these people from bringing harm to our children, this is one step closer to bringing them safety.
The bill outlines that all of this would be paid for through state-funded grants. We will continue to follow this bill as it continues through the legislature. Reporting from the Georgia State Capitol, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
And staying at the State House, Georgia lawmakers are working to tackle literacy rates in school. The Speaker of the House says it's his #1 priority this legislative session. The Speaker said yesterday that 1 in 3 Georgia kids cannot read proficiently by the 3rd grade. A proposed bill would require children to attend kindergarten before enrolling in 1st grade. Additionally, it would allow schools to hold back students in kindergarten through 1st grade if they're not reading proficiently. The bill also proposes funding for literacy coaches in every elementary school. Speaker John Burns said it's about time the state tackle this problem, and many Democrats agree.
We are not in the state we're in because of our teachers. They are doing an incredible job, but they need additional resources.
Many teachers come in and are new. They need to learn the techniques that, folks that have more experience are able to practice in their classrooms.
Individual school systems will also have to come up with their own literacy plans that are subject to review every 4 years. And while we're talking about state issues, I want to remind you that happening today at 2:30 right here on WTOC Plus, it'll be a new episode of Governing Georgia, the show where every week we break down the latest legislation moving through the State House and explain what it means for you, your family, and your community. We've got a packed episode this week. I'm almost done putting it together, but that'll be live right here at 2:30 on WTOC Plus, as well as the WTOC Facebook page. Turning now to national news, a ransom deadline has come and gone with no response in the case of the apparent abduction of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. The investigation is intensifying now 6 days in. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
6 days into the search for Nancy Guthrie, and the Pima County Sheriff is holding out hope that the 84-year-old is still alive.
We believe Nancy is still out there.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family.
Late Thursday, Nancy's son Cameron released a new video directed at her potential abductors as one purported ransom deadline passed.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly.
Authorities haven't released specifics on the terms of the note or confirmation of its authenticity, but the FBI says it contained details not previously made public at the time it was sent.
The ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics.
But the sheriff has released a detailed timeline of the night Nancy went missing. She arrived home from dinner with her daughter Saturday night at 9:48 p.m. The garage door closed 2 minutes later. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects movement, but it wasn't captured on video. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker disconnects from her phone. Then at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy after she doesn't show up to church. Authorities say DNA testing has revealed that the bloodstains found outside the home do belong to Guthrie.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere.
The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now turning to news out of the Palmetto State, where South Carolina lawmakers are attempting to strengthen the state's DUI laws. The Senate passed the tougher legislation yesterday, sending it to the House for debate. Our South Carolina State House reporter Stephen Biddix has those details.
After 3 weeks of debate, the South Carolina Senate unanimously passed out their DUI bill. Senators say the bill strengthens the state's currently weak DUI laws. They're hoping it changes the culture of driving impaired in South Carolina and makes you think twice before getting behind the wheel. The bill increases penalties for drivers who refuse a breathalyzer test during a traffic stop. Under the bill, a driver who refuses a breathalyzer would be required to use an ignition interlock device, blowing into it to start their car until they finish their court case. Right now, traffic courts handle many of the DUI cases. This bill requires state prosecutors to pursue these cases. Lawmakers hope this leads to higher conviction rates. The bill also allows EMTs to take blood tests on scene if a breathalyzer doesn't detect anything, and the officer believes they are under the influence of something else, like THC or other drugs.
I'm really hopeful that it changes the culture. It was so hard to prosecute a DUI case that you sort of break the spirit of the police, the officers that are enforcing it. They're just like, why do I even bother?
Senators add the bill closes a loophole many lawyers have used by challenging police body cam footage of DUI. House leadership says they don't have an exact timeline, but do plan to take up the Senate's bill over the next couple weeks. Reporting at the State House, I'm Stephen Biddix.
Turning now to sports news. Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford was named the NFL's most valuable player. The 38-year-old UGA alum got 24 first-place votes, edging out Patriots' Drake May, who got 23 votes, one of the closest MVP races in recent memory. The closest race actually since 2003, when Peyton Manning and Steve McNair were co-winners. Stafford accepted the award with his 4 daughters on stage and said that he will be returning to the Rams for another season. Happening tomorrow, the 100 Black Men of Savannah will host its annual Community Health and Well-Being Fair. It's being held from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Georgia Infirmary Building on Abercorn Street. It is free and open to all and part of the Savannah Black Heritage Festival. There will be free health screenings for blood pressure and blood sugar, educational resources, and much, much more. And finally, here on WTOC Plus, you don't have to wait until next month to get into the Irish spirit because the Savannah Irish Festival returns this weekend. The annual festival returns tomorrow and Sunday at the Ale Temple Eisenberg Drive in Savannah. It's a lively weekend of traditional Irish music, world-class dance, storytelling, authentic cuisine, and family-friendly fun. There will also be a children's area, Irish marketplace, food trucks, and much more. Tickets are available online and at the door, and children under 16 are free with a paying adult. Looks like a lot of fun. I wonder how much Irish Guinness will be there this weekend. That's always one of my favorite parts. All right. And with that, we're going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be back in just about 45 minutes for another round of stories and a look at your weekend forecast with meteorologist Andrew Gorton. So tune in for that at the top of the hour. In the meantime, you can always check our website for the latest updates at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.